out of fear of failure, out of fear of, losing yourself in a relationship, out of fear that there will be a breakup, or maybe out of fear of drama. You just don't like drama, you just don't like fights, you just want your peace, you want to live your life, you want to party, you want to work, you want to be successful, and you are just done with, drama, being betrayed, failure, breakups, pain in a relationship. I completely get it. I really, really get it. And let's talk about this today. Because I've noticed that a lot of top 1% women and men actually prefer to stay single or have short term relationships because there is this big fear. And this fear is valid, you know, especially if you have experienced those things before. Yeah, if you've experienced those things before, I completely hear you. And I also have a solution for you. So if you say you're completely happy being alone, being single, you really don't want anyone, then I'm happy for you too. But if you feel like, if there was a chance of having a loving relationship where there is no drama, no breakups, no pain, no cheating, I'll be up for it. Then stay tuned with me, because this is who I was. I experienced also lots of pain in relationships, like cheating, drama, breakups, name it all. And I was like, I'm just so done with it. I have to figure out what's with relationship. I have to figure out all of this. So this was basically my beginning of becoming a dating relationship coach, because I wanted to figure out myself, like, how do relationships work? Like, how does that work? What do I miss? Like, I'm much rather gonna be alone than in this painful situation. But then if there is a chance for me to have a loving relationship, a loving committed relationship, which I have now, a fulfilling relationship, then I'm up for it. So this is how I started. I invested in myself. I was working with dating coaches. I would read all of the books I could find, and then once I figured this out for myself, I started dating women and sometimes men in the last 5 years, in dating but also in relationships. All right. And what I found, what's most important is that you need two things. First of all, you need the right person. You need to choose the right person. So if, let's say you want to avoid someone who is giving you emotional trauma, you need to avoid narcissists, okay? If you want to avoid being cheated on, you need to choose a person who is actually self-disciplined, and you need to choose a person who is trustworthy, and you need to choose a person who chooses to be in a monogamous relationship because they believe in it. They're not just doing it just because you require, like, okay, fine, I'm just gonna do it, but secretly they want like multiple partners. You need to choose a person that believes themselves into in monogamy, okay? So again, you need to choose the right person. One thing. And you also need to be the right person. You need to be also the person who believes in those things, right? You also need a person who is self-disciplined, who believes in monogamy, who believes in communication. So let's say you want to be in a relationship without drama, then you need to be with a person who knows how to communicate, or at least is open to learn it. I guess, sorry everybody for the slight changing, but it is how it is right now. Okay, so you need to be with a person who knows about communication, or at least is open to work through things to learn about communication, okay? So that there are no fights or misunderstandings, but people much rather come towards each other with curiosity, like, okay, you felt bad, why was that, let's talk about it. So you need to choose the right person, but you also need to be the right person. So if you don't want drama, You cannot be the person who brings drama to the relationship. You have to be also the person who um keeps yourself busy. For example, I would bring drama to a relationship just because I'm bored. Okay, so I have to keep myself busy. Or sometimes people, and I used to be that person too, are in so much trauma that they bring drama to our relationship. So you also need to be the person who is going through a healing process. Yeah. And best you choose a person who is either already there or is completely willing to go through that. Yeah. And let's say you want to avoid um, emotion, not only fights, right? Some people also want to avoid being lonely in a relationship, being disconnected. There are so many people who are emotionally distant. You also need to be the person who is emotionally available. I, for example, could not be emotionally available in the past because I had so much trauma and pain in my life. I completely shut down my emotions. And it was working well, at least in the career or school version, until it didn't, because I would only attract emotionally unavailable people, men, and there was just no connection, just pure loneliness. So if I want a person who is emotionally there, I need to be there too. So you see, you choose the right person, but you also have to become the right person so that you guys are compatible. And this video is really for both, for women and men. And when you are dating, that is why, especially for you ladies, I find it so important that you get to know the person without intimacy, because women, especially women, they get like this filter, this red glasses of not being able to see who that person is, and just like have this feelings of passion. I want to be with that person all the time. So stay away from intimacy and just get to know that person. And high value men are going to wait for you until you can make a good decision for yourself. So this is one part, that you have to choose the right person, you have to be the right person. And if you feel like you want extra support, you want to reach that state faster, you want some accountability, and you feel like I'm the right coach for you, reach out for a free love audit call. I will link the link in the description box. Okay, then after you chose the right person and you become the right person, obviously there's no perfection, no one is perfect, so don't expect that, but is some foundation work done. Then what happens is, couples get engaged. I have a lot of clients who are getting engaged, right? And most of them I still coach after the engagement, because after the engagement is where there is like a deeper healing, deeper things are coming up. First of all, just because there are two different people from two different backgrounds, households coming together, and they just have to, understand each other and get along and understand certain things. And secondly, is because if you are attracted to someone, sexually attracted, there is like 100% chance that this person is going to bring out your deepest triggers and your deepest wounds. And all of this is going to happen pretty quickly after the honeymoon phase, which will be around 3 months into the dating to even 1.5 years. So there will be triggers coming up. So what is a trigger? Let's say I actually had this trigger, a trigger of abandonment, because I was like, as a kid, I was ignored and kind of like ignored in front of TV. Okay, so when my partner would watch TV, I would get so triggered, I would feel so abandoned and unimportant. And this was an opportunity for me to heal. First of all, to let my partner to kind of like let go of the TV and give me their attention, right? But also for me to understand that I am important, for me to soothe myself and be like, hey, it's okay. I can be there for myself. I can talk to myself. I can go for a walk. I can talk to different people, you know? So it was an opportunity for me to work through these triggers. And if you're not careful, if you're not self-aware, and if you don't know how to deal with that, this can really destroy the relationship. That is why so many people in the dating phase of boyfriend girlfriend actually break up. Most people break up. Yeah, not because they chose the wrong people. Like, sometimes you just choose the wrong person, so make sure you choose the right person who's also compatible in your lifestyle, in your goals, like just those typical questions like, do we want to have kids, in which country do you want to live, like, just ask those questions. But let's say this is good, but then if you are not fully committed, if you don't really know how to move through those things, most couples just break up when those triggers come up, which is understandable. You don't want to be miserable the whole day. Like, let's say I'm every day triggered with the TV and my partner watch TV every evening. I would just feel so miserable, right? Like, but if I don't know how to communicate my needs and how to heal this within myself, because it's just a trigger, right? He has the right to watch his TV. Or there are just so many other examples, but I hope you guys get the point that in this case scenario, this is like the deeper healing, like the true deeper healing, where couples have to communicate and heal each other. This often comes from childhood, where people have been mistreated or neglected as children, and then those triggers come up, those needs come up, where those two people, this couple, both has to support each other. Okay, so I had a client where her fiance was asking her to take a picture of him, and she was like, no, right now I cannot. And he was just so triggered. He was just really triggered, and he would like feel very bad. And then they worked with me together, and I asked him, because I know how to work through that. So what was the reason you felt triggered? Like, he said, I felt like she doesn't care about me. And I'm like, where's this coming from? Yeah, my whole childhood, no one cared about me. No one cared what I want. I only had to support my siblings. No one cared about me ever. And then I asked her, so is it true you didn't care about his need of having a photo? And she was like, no, I was just rushing. I was stressed. I didn't have time to take pictures at that moment. I can take another day. So you see, it's a deep healing and deep inner work that is coming up in relationships after engagement, after marriage, and that oftentimes needs extra guidance, because if couples don't do anything with it, they will perceive the other person very negative. Like, that guy would think, oh, she's just so selfish, she doesn't care about me, yeah, she didn't even take a picture. Well, it was just a trigger, she didn't mean to. There was communication needed to release that, and also her actively maybe next day taking a few pictures to show him, I really care. So something in his inner child healed. Yeah, or just like in my scenario, let's say I would start acting out, or I would say nothing, and I would feel every day miserable because I would feel like my partner is just ignoring me. Would I stay in this relationship? No. Why would I stay in a miserable relationship? Right? Or worse, I would start acting out of my pain and start accusing him. You are so selfish. You're always watching TV. You don't even care about me. What's wrong with you? Do you think this is a start to a loving relationship? No, it's a disaster. And I understand that most of successful women and men, independent women and men, are like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to see my partner as a bad person. And I also don't want to be in a constant fight for something, right? Or constant drama. All of that is very overwhelming. But as I mentioned with you all, there are ways to heal that. And slowly, like, there are maybe 5, 10 things coming up. And then slowly, both people are just happy. Both people are just feeling loved and fulfilled. Both people know how to communicate. Both people feel loved. And both people just know that the other person has the best interest in mind. And this is what couples that coach with me also learn: how to communicate, how to bring up things without acting on it, without destroying the relationship, or without saying nothing is as bad, because then you keep feeling bad, right? Like, imagine the fiance of my client, he would never say anything and then forever feel like, "Oh, she doesn't care about me." Would that be good? No, Absolutely not. There's resentment, negativity. So I get it. Relationships can be a mess if you don't know those things. They can bring up triggers, resentment, not understanding each other. And if people act out of this negativity, that's even making it worse, right? But you know what? You get to have a relationship that is fulfilling, that is loving, where both people communicate nicely, where both people support each other, where both people heal each other, and where you also learn how to heal yourself, right? Like fiance's, my client's fiance, he got to receive from my client the knowledge that yes, she cares about him, but he can also already step up for himself that, okay, I'm important. There was a deep belief in him. So you see that relationships actually bring up deep inner work. And it will take time, it will take your commitment, it will take investment of your time, energy, and money. But if you want a long-term, loving, fulfilling relationship where both people feel fulfilled and satisfied and loved and deeply connected and safe and cherished and respected, this cannot be skipped. Okay, it just cannot be skipped. So first, what I want you to take from this video is the self-awareness that loving, fulfilling relationship exists if you choose the right person, if you're the right person, if you guys are compatible, and if you do your inner work and you have communication and relationship skills. Yeah? And if you feel like, I want this in my life, whatever it takes, I want this. I want to have a loving relationship. I also want to have a family. Maybe you want that. Or maybe you don't want a family, but you just want this love and fulfillment in your life. um, I want you to know it's possible. And if you want to achieve that faster, if you want to save yourself tears and time and misunderstandings, reach out for a free love audit call, because I'm gonna be able to help you in your dating process, but also beyond that. I'm usually guiding my clients beyond dating, from engagement to marriage, because those things come up and there is a way to work through that. Okay, it's just we don't learn it in school, but there are ways for you. So if you think like I'm your cup of tea, make sure to reach out for a free love audit call. I will put the link in the description box. And even if you are a couple, I'm also welcoming you guys together. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel. Make sure to sign up for a free love audit call. And I see you in the next video. Bye bye.